Alright, welcome back to a new video. So it is late at night, but I have a personal day tomorrow, so I can train late. And I kind of took a nap. It is what it is, and I mowed the grass in the backyard, which honestly didn't really even need to be mowed, but I was already doing it, so decided to finish it up. Plus I can cut it a little bit shorter. I was able to work on the hill a little bit too, which is nice, but I'll probably do more of that tomorrow because I only mowed the back. Just because I didn't feel like it. But it's very humid today, very hot. It was only 80 degrees, but the real feel was like 88. Definitely felt very hot. I was outside a lot of the day today as well with different classes. But there's a mosquito there that will probably try to eat me later. But yeah, I have a good lather, so I'm quite warmed up in a way already. I went back and forth in the live stream yesterday. I was kind of talking about some different theories I had, and I was kind of writing them out as well about what I wanted today's session to look like. And what I kind of concluded was not to do much exercises like I had planned, but to do a snatch, a clean, and a jerk all separate, and to measure the speed of those lifts. So to measure the snatch. And so I don't know, I put to work up to 100. I don't know if that's what I'm worked up to. I don't know if I'm going to feel like I'm going to work up more, but I essentially just want to assess the speed of the lift and just kind of get that benchmark of that. Same with the clean and the jerk, because you can't do them together to get the speed. It doesn't have it on the app, but also it's hard to measure it because of the difference of movements with that. So I will do jerks as well. I put cleans at 130 and jerks at 130 as well. A lot of those will play by feel. Like if I feel good, I'm going to go above that. If I don't, then I won't. But today, or days like this, I suppose, can be a good workout to kind of throw into kind of measure speed, but kind of also to obviously try to improve it, but just to see what the speed looks like on the actual lifts. Obviously separate, but still pretty close to the main lifts. So like I said, snatches up to 100, and then we'll kind of see how they feel. I actually found these when I was cleaning the shed out. So my cleaning for the summer, I always have this goal, and I'm never really successful with it, but hopefully this summer I'm more successful. I want to clean the shed first, which, because there's a lot of crap that I need to clean out, it will take a while to do. But what my goal is that I clean the shed out as best I can, so then a lot of the stuff on the back porch, if I want to store it where I don't need instant access to it, I can put it on the various shelves, because there's quite a lot of shelf space, even with the junk that I have on it. But there'll be even more without that. And then I can clean the back porch. Once the back porch is clean, then I can worry about stuff in the house and bring more stuff out. Because a lot of the stuff on the back porch is outdoor stuff anyway that I can bring in here to store for longer periods of time, or it can be fine out here like in the winter and stuff. And then work inside the house as well, because trash cans fill up really fast, and I don't want to really I just don't want to spend get 50 bags out there or whatever, because I don't know what the limit is for the trash to actually take it still, because you can put bags next to the cans. You don't have to only fill the cans in our neighborhood, but I don't really want to push the limit with that. But thankfully I got all the wood that I needed to cut up done, so that's all taken care of. And now I just need to work on the shed, which now that all of that's taken out, now I can do that starting kind of this week, because our trash goes out on Wednesdays. But all of that, pretty able to say that when I was cleaning this out, I found this under one of the things as well. So I'll be able to do that. Now, one thing that is up here, let me grab the camera because I don't feel like picking it up. I have a large capacity toaster oven that was left here, I believe, by one of, not my two roommates that are now, or former roommates that are now married, but one of, I'm pretty sure I know who left it, but he was here a while ago, so it's been out here for years. But I don't really know what to use it for. I guess to reheat stuff. I'm sure there's a million recipes for it, but do you have any suggestions about, can I have chicken thighs that I made, would it be good to reheat those with, or I don't know what to really even use it for. So that maybe it's junk and I can throw it away. I looked in and it's in there. It's not like a box that's just used for storage. So I don't know if you have suggestions for it. Let me know. But I'll probably pull that out eventually and at least make sure it functions before I worry too much about it. But with these sleeves, these are nice. These are really light ones, so it's good for like a training session like this where it's just really normal. And essentially, it's like light wraps, kind of like the white and the red ones that I used to wear. So they give you a tiny bit. I'm trying to think, like the Rebands, that's kind of the style that they're at. I've never worn Rebands, but they are they don't do much for you. I think. Oh, other than keep your knees warm. But it was really hot out, so I did bring out I made some Gatorade, threw my creatine in there. I did go on a walk this morning, so I was 238.5. So I mean the weight is not going back up to 240, so it's slowly trending down. But I walked this morning, I obviously walked at work, so now I'm at like 10,400 steps, so I'll go on an evening walk probably and get to like 12,000. I think yesterday I was like at 10, so the average is, above, or it's at and above 10 every day, so that part's good. And obviously, like, I'm exercising, so it's not as if the steps are the only form of exercise that I'm getting. But it is really hot out here. I could turn this fan on. In fact, I just might. I figured out how to charge it. If the battery's not in it. But I figured out how to charge it in the battery pack. So you can plug it in and just have it run on a cord. But the battery inside, I didn't realize actually a method from which it charged in a different spot. So now I can kind of place it anywhere, at least until it dies, and get some airflow in here. Which normally I don't like to train with a fan, just because of the noise, and it's not even like for a video aspect. Like I just, this one's actually not very loud at all, but the ones that are at the gym are extremely loud, and the air is nice. It's like the catch-22, like the airflow can be nice, but they're like industrial fans, so they blow quite a lot of air. And like a day like this, I wouldn't mind more air, but if it's like 65 degrees outside and it's just a little warm, I'd rather just be a little warm than cold because of the industrial fans. But I don't know if I'll feel bad or good today in training. Usually when I procrastinate, it means I don't feel good for training, but a lot of it's just because I took a nap. And I knew like I could procrastinate training because I can sleep in tomorrow, so I don't think that theory will hold weight today. But I've been slacking the last couple days about doing the mobility in the morning. I mentioned this morning that I went on a walk, so like I got that aspect of it in. In theory, I would do mobility, go on a quick walk, and I'm talking about like 10-15 minutes, not very long at all, and then do some shoulder work with like a band, so like that only takes 2 minutes to do. But just haven't been able to do it in the morning. It's just sleeping in a little bit more. Not a ton, obviously, if I'm still going to work, but just sleeping in enough to where I don't have time if I'm going to eat breakfast and be ready to leave. So I know in the summer it won't matter. I'll be able to just get ready whenever, get up whenever, and all of that. These are a little tender, but that's going to be something I'll probably experience more as I'm consistently in a deficit, just not feeling extremely good when I train. Which is okay because then I can just not go as heavy if I'm focused on the speed. That part's good that I can go down without any discomfort. Rest it there a little bit. It's just like that initial press off. I think just when the shoulder is at the most mobility demands, when it's right on my traps. So I can continue to try to get that better. I mean, I would say it just is a little bit tight. It doesn't even hurt, so it's hard to say even on a pain scale where that would be. But I'd like it to be 0. All right, we're gonna get the 40 kilos on. Well, I'll throw the wraps on while I'm yapping, but we'll throw 40 on and then just see how the speed looks, and just singles in the lifts. If anything, it could be kind of like how the hang day was, where I just work up. Well, those I was doing reps, building up. This will just be singles and just building up to 100 if I feel good, more if I feel worse, less, but just to kind of, I would say kind of the minimum is 90, just so I can get to the same weight I was doing hang power snatches with, and then same for like the power clean jerks to get to 110, just to get that same weight as I did yesterday, but the more the better for sure. I think my little insulation along the shed is working. It hasn't really poured, but there hasn't been like wet spots from like condensation in here, so I think there's just been less moisture in here. And the front of the shed is dried out a little bit, so that part is good. So I'm hoping that when it rains hard the next time, it will actually protect the shed a bit better. It's rained a couple times, but it hasn't been like that. There's some condensation on there, but the G fell off, so it weighs less now. But that's the only problem I've noticed with the Titan plates is the lettering will, it's like glued on, so that adhesive is cheap, but Titan stuff's cheap, so that's what you get with it. You can still read the letters though. So even if they fall off, you can still see. Obviously they still have the color, but you don't have to worry about not being able to see the number. All right. Yeah, it's definitely still getting a little condensation here, but that's going to happen. Alright. Turn my Wi-Fi off. Alright. So we go to 60. So it picks up the balance down, but the peak speed of that was 3.05, so interesting to see, even with light weights. So I'll slip right off. I got that a little unbalanced. And my accelerometer fell off. That's why I was staying above parallel. So that was 269. So I'll go up to 80. Definitely prefer knee wraps. I might switch to those soon. These are really doing nothing. They're not even really compressing at all. But 80 here. And we'll get the old Rappy Boys on. Oh. See, the speed was at so 2.03. So I'll do 90 next. Now, honestly, don't feel bad, like technically or speed-wise or anything. These, see, they look like they're super tight because I can't get them over my calf, but they don't fit snugly on my knee. That's the difference between wraps and sleeves, is I don't have to worry about getting these over my calves. And so I can put them as loose or tight as I want. I don't have to try to slide them over my calf to get them on. So it also doesn't matter how sweaty your leg is. The compression feels better too. So I don't even like crank them super for snatches, especially don't crank them super tight at all. It just feels good to kind of have that hug. It feels good to feel like you have a hug. So now we get 90 on. So this is kind of the minimum today. Right now, it estimates my 1 rep max to be 106 kilos. Which I think with the 1 rep max estimates, it's not like when I drop the bar and it gets that false measurement, it's not getting messed up from that. Doesn't seem like, which is good. But also the estimated max isn't really that important. Just fun data. All right. Speed on it didn't feel bad, I just was in front with the left arm. Speed there is 182. So what we're going to do that rep again. Trying to make it look a bit better, feel a bit better. And I think we'll end with 100. And even though I have that on, I'm not necessarily trying to intentionally move faster or anything like that. I'm just moving. I'll feel a lot better. And it only picked up the actual snatch. So I guess only if it bounces up high enough. That was one, so I was actually slower by 1/10 of a second. But it felt much better. So that's where, like, measuring the speed could be a detriment, is if you're only worried about moving faster and not the quality of how it feels. And that can mess you up a little bit too. Let's see what our time's at, boys. 11 minutes, plenty of time. So it says my max is 122.4. I think. Yeah, 122.4. Definitely gonna be the last one I do today. I have to walk it forward, but also it kind of felt like that first 90. It says my 1 rep max is 133. See what the top speed was. Am I blind? 188. So interesting data. Interesting data. So now we're gonna do some cleans. So that's essentially like what I'm thinking like a day like this could look like. Essentially just work up to something till it feels off a little bit, and then just seeing what the speed's at. I'm gonna do 70, 90, 110, 130. Considering front squats today, what I think I'll probably do is either have that be the focus of tomorrow and that be like it, or do it on Saturday. So we'll see what the vibe is. But we'll probably run through these pretty quick. But as you can see, I'm not trying to power it. Just trying to do it. I've also, for both legs, moved my feet in a little bit. I don't know if that was a negative that I was doing, but I think as my body weight's gone up, I kind of spread my feet out more. And it's nothing extreme, but my hands are in the same part, my feet are in a little bit. So closer to where my feet are when I do a back squat, which I think is probably better for force production. Maybe not, but at least right now it feels better. I feel more compact, which if that makes sense. So speed on that 90 is 165. So this is just good data to get. So I know, like, when I do it again, like, you know, what the various numbers are. What's a fast number? What's a slower number? We're gonna fix the camera. So for a diet, I'm not trying to do anything specific. Like at school, I had a bunch of Oreos today. Obviously, those are a lot of calories, but I'm just worried about making sure the movement, the amount of steps I get is consistently high, and then adjusting from there. So I have this one. I think it's definitely like that 100 was a good number to where it wasn't struggling or it wasn't like freaked out to do it, but it was heavy enough. It's kind of like that 110 power clean. I talked about that yesterday in the live stream. Like it's It's not so heavy that I can't train today, or it's like neurologically fatiguing, but it's just heavy enough where I had to try. Because like if I just did 90 kilos cleans, like yeah, it would probably help a little bit, but you have to feel a little bit of the weight. So you still have to get up to a certain percentage, just like you do with like a strength, you know, a squat or whatever, to really start to, you know, I don't want to say feel the benefit, but to just get a little bit more out of it. I've also realized that I did 100 in the snatch yesterday and then 100 in the power clean, so I think that 110 is a good weight to stay at. It says my 1 rep max is 146. I'm sure, you know, if I went up, the speed wouldn't really change that much. The speed on that one was 183 with 90. It was 185, so the speed is staying the same with that increased weight, but I'm going to be more cautious and kind of treat this as like a speed training day where I'm just seeing how fast. And like in future weeks and sessions, the only real difference is to just do more singles at like that 110, just to do it repeated, just to feel it and try to move it faster and more effectively, which will be good for the practice of the lift. Obviously, you know, I'm working on the speed as well, but getting more practice is good too. And having the practice be with singles, I think will be helpful for me as well, because obviously when you get reps, the technique doesn't necessarily have to get worse, but it can get a bit muddied when you are focused on like doing a triple or, you know, a complex or something. If you're just doing a single, you can really kind of just hammer that rep and try to make it feel as good as possible. So we're going to do the same thing here with Yorks. 70, 90, 110. Should be the same. Both the snatch and flip jerk will be the same as I did yesterday. Now this is a little trickier to put on with this because of just the squat rack being there, but I should be able to, as long as I pay attention, have it on safely. But it's a pretty strong device, so even if I accidentally put it in the rack, I don't think it would break it or anything like that. I picked up a jerk that I did. I guess picking up the accelerometer, it picked it up. That was weird, but we get 70 on there. Assessing the speed like this too can be a good way to deload without feeling like you're not challenged. And I had forgotten about that benefit as well, is where you can work up to, you know, whatever weight, but instead of trying to move the heaviest weight, you're trying to move a relatively heavy weight as quickly as possible. Just kind of always good to do, but it's nice to kind of have, like if you know, like I can only go up to 110, then it gives you something to actually be aggressive for, which will just be good in training. I need to make sure I drink a little water too. Gatorade, I should say. All right. 70 kilos. And having a day like this could be a good way to get some assessment of other lifts that I do that are either working or not. So 184, actually pretty similar to what I did with the clean. It's interesting that some of the speeds are very similar, even on such a different lift. Well, the more I think about it, the more I think that tomorrow will be kind of similar to how I did the back squats, like a really light front squat day. And what I'll probably do with the main lifts is go even lighter than I did today. So still do a snatch and clean jerk, but snatch like 80, clean and jerk 100, and then stop there and then do some front squats. And for this first session, just having them be similar to maybe the same weight as I did for back squats, just 70 kilos, but just to do higher reps with it. Get some work in. But this is 90, so I do this and then 110. Trying to blow this mosquito away. Got distracted by the frickin' mosquito. I thought I was gonna fly in my mouth. I felt that in my left knee a little bit, which I don't really like, but we're just doing one more rep. So I'm not going to worry about it. More good information on why it was good I didn't do the competition. Like if my knee's doing this with, 90 kilograms, then I would have been really anxious trying to lift at a meet. I would have been fine for snatches, but could have snatched 130 and then not clean jerk 100. All right, 110. I haven't been taking any anti-inflammatories to mitigate anything with the left knee. It's weird to talk about my left knee because it's always been my right one that's given me issues, but I haven't been trying to take those, so I know that I would get some help from that if I did, but you don't really need it when you're in this kind of type of training. I didn't feel it all on that one, which is nice. So it's just kind of hit or miss, but on that one, I think the dip drive was probably a bit better. I tried to sit my weight back a little bit more and really kind of feel the same things I did on the push press, where I was trying to feel the bar kind of go into my body. I don't know how to exactly describe it, but basically go down how I was on the push press to where the bar, making it feel heavy. I don't know if that's exactly the correct way for me, for what I'm trying to say. So that was 150 on that one. 90 was 175, then 184 on the 70 there. But I guess I'm not trying to make it whip necessarily, anything like that. What I'm trying to feel is, I guess, that tension before I go up. So just trying to feel like, all right, that's good, and then pop up. And that one, it felt really good. Same with the push press double I did the other day. That felt really good when I did that as well. And so I just kind of want to keep, it only felt good from a technical standpoint, but it felt good from the speed of the lift and the knee joint. That also felt good with that. So I kind of want to keep reinforcing that. So I think that'll just be more consistent in the dip drive of the jerk. And it just made everything upstream feel better as well. So I think it just means that, A, I'm putting less of a weird strain on my knee, but I'm also driving up in a correct fashion. So it's just kind of putting everything in line as I would like it to be. So another benefit of light weights there. But now to get my my watch on. So I'm at 10,600 steps, and I guess I got a lot of time now to walk it at. So we'll see what I end up getting up to. But productive training session. I'm happy with how it went. I'm a little worried on that 90 where I didn't feel anything at 70. I felt a decent amount on that 90, and then didn't feel anything on the 110. So I just have to make sure that. And honestly, I think part of it too, I might be trying to push my knees out too far, because another thing on that 100 is I didn't try to move my feet out or in necessarily more. I just kept them in a more normal, toes forward, same like a similar position as a squat, but just a little, I guess probably a little bit more toes forward, and just focused on going straight down and not worrying about my knees going out, but just allowing them to go, if they were going forward, to allow them to go forward, but just, trying to focus on that straight down and straight up. So less worried about where my knees were tracking necessarily, and more about the balance of the weight, which I think is probably one thing that probably irritates that, is if I get pushed forward, which is a good reason for me to stay more balanced, because obviously it's better from a technique standpoint, but if it hurts to do it wrong, then I guess I have that extra reinforcement. But I didn't feel anything on any of the other lifts, so I think it was just kind of like there might just be some cartilage or something popping around in there. Who knows? But what are you gonna do other than try to get stronger? Part of me too wants to think about doing plyos again today, but I think having one day a week where I hit lunges of some sort, even though it was really limited this week, one day a week where I do plyos of some sort, and then every day being a day where I focus on getting the the steps and the movement in. I'm in a sense calling it cardio. I'm not really moving fast enough to like get my heart rate crazy high, but that's kind of the thought, is to eventually start trying to do, maybe, I don't want to say rowing, because that's not something I necessarily want to do consistently, because it just works my back, which is not bad, but not good. I don't really need it. But just trying to elevate my heart rate more when I'm doing the walking sessions. Not only does it allow me to get a further distance faster, but obviously that cardio will just be good to do in general. But I don't know, time to get some food and go do some walking. But body weight, like I said, was 238.5 this morning, and that's kind of like, I round up, or I guess I round to the nearest half. This is a more accurate term, so I get to Like if I'm 239, I think a little bit under, and so I just rounded up to that, and then I was like literally right on the dot, so it doesn't feel right to round all the way up to 239, but I'm not trying to get super scientific with it. My scale is really accurate though, which is nice. It's I think a shipping scale, like a scale that's meant for that, so it's a more accurate digital one. But I've noticed it's the same, they basically use the same one at the competitions. And so at least I know I have a consistent measuring tool for the for my body weight. But yeah, I'm not going to use, I guess that's why these things are buried, because they don't compress at all. And if they were any smaller, I couldn't get them over my calves. I need ones that like zip. But that probably really painful to have a zipper on it, but the wraps are there for a reason, because I got big baby cow calves. Actually, I'm just going to carry these in because I'm going to change my pants. I don't think I need to walk around the neighborhood in these. See, this is the other thing I don't like, or one thing I don't like about the watch. It went down from 10,600 to 10,400, so sometimes like the steps just change. So I don't know what that was about, but what we're gonna do, I'm not trying to break a record with the amount of steps that I get, so just trying to be consistently higher with it, and if it changes a little bit, shouldn't really matter too much. But anywho, that's it for this session. So a quick, easy little session, about 40 minutes out here. So this could be like a nice little Thursday thing to, you know, work hard throughout the week, have those complexes yesterday, and then just have something where I'm just trying to move fast and efficient today. Some really light lifts tomorrow, where I get some front squat volume in, and then Saturday just kind of practicing both the lifts together. The Saturday session, I definitely won't be trying to assess the speed of them, just because I'll be able to do it for the snatch, but not for the clean jerk. But I'll just try to do, ideally, a little bit more than I was kind of working with during the week. So something more than 100 in the snatch, and then something more than 110 in the clean jerk, and then just kind of linearly progress that session each week as I can, or as it feels good. And I'll probably be, lifting heavy weights before long, because that's just kind of always where I'm at. But that being said, deuces.